市场开始崩塌，一度被认为是无可匹敌的大型金融机构显露出大厦将倾之势。各国政府迅速做出反应，推行大规模的资金援助和刺激计划，这些措施卓有成效。全球经济复苏的速度比绝大多数人预测的都要快，没过多久，整体运行就恢复了正常。然而，还有一些问题没有解决，民众的不安情绪日趋加重。事实上，存在于金融领域的问题已经开始在现代社会生活的方方面面有所体现。
There's angst out there, and I think if you talk to people on the street today, they would tell you, I don't know what's causing all this, but this just doesn't feel normal to me. You know, the government's running $1 trillion worth of deficit. Why isn't the economy improving? The government's going to spend almost $3.7 trillion. Why don't I have a job? Why is the unemployment rate at 9%? And I even think that number's understated.
许多人都对于当今的世界心存顾虑，担心不久就要发生可怕的事。有人告诉我们，几年前的金融危机已经过去了。可如果那场危机是一个更深层次的问题所表现出来的征兆呢？故事要从1944年讲起。随着第二次世界大战进入尾声，同盟国在美国新罕布什尔州的布雷顿森林召开会议，旨在构建一个全新的金融体系，以便在战争结束后起到稳定全球形势的作用。由于美国注定会进入一段繁荣昌盛的黄金时期，与会代表将美元定为国际储备货币。
The Bretton Woods system was created after the Second World War at the Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire. And rather than using gold as the means of exchange between countries, as was the case under the old gold standard, the dollar was going to be used. The dollar was chosen because back then it was as good as gold.
在这一新体系下，各国同意将其货币与美元挂钩，美元则与黄金挂钩，每盎司黄金可兑换35美元。这就意味着各国需要将自己的货币兑换成美元，再兑换成黄金。在这个体系中，所有货币从本质上看都是与黄金挂钩的。由于黄金在全世界范围内运输不便，当一国将本国货币兑换成黄金时，通常会出于安全考虑，将其保存在美国境内。
Under the Bretton Woods system, you could exchange your currency or your dollars for gold. Now, it only applied to foreign countries and central banks. And we began to run budget deficits. We were running the Great Society program under Lyndon Johnson. We were fighting a war in Vietnam. And all of a sudden, we were running these deficits, and countries were changing their dollars. And they said they wanted gold. And it began with the French, and then it started to spread.
由于美国推行一系列大规模财政支出项目，其他国家开始担心美国的支出会高于其所持的黄金储备。一些国家考虑到美国可能并没有足够的黄金来支撑其印发的美元，开始将储备的美元兑换为黄金，并要求美国兑付15黄金。为避免美国金库中的黄金大量流向海外，时任美国总统理查德·尼克松紧急叫停黄金兑换交易。
All of the problems that we see today in the monetary system are a direct result of the decision made in August 15th, 1971, to abandon a fixed link back to gold. What gold did is it provided discipline on governments, provided discipline on government spending.
Under the old system, if you ran a budget deficit, then what would happen is gold would flow out of your country until there was a balance again. Well, without any gold backing, then countries ran perpetual deficits. So if you look at, for example, this country, from 1971 on, the U.S. has never run a surplus. Ever since we went off the gold standard, it's just been perpetual stimulus. Good times, bad times, always run a deficit.
What led Nixon to abandon the gold standard in 1971? And although he claimed it was temporary, we've been waiting 40 years, we're still off of it. We ran up huge deficits during the 1960s. We had the guns and butter economy where the government was both simultaneously fighting a war in Vietnam abroad. In addition, we were funding manned missions to the moon and the whole space program. We were creating more money than we had gold reserves to back it up. And a lot of our foreign creditors saw this and began to demand gold rather than their Federal Reserve notes, because they sensed that Washington simply didn't have enough gold to make its commitment to back the dollar.